Mustang Drive-In in Picton, and we've been here for, well, just over 18 years, I guess, so since I was like 2. Tonight is our Dusk Till Dawn night, so we run like 5 movies right until, sometimes we don't get through the last movie because it gets so light out you can't see the picture, but we try.
We opened for the holiday weekend in May, and the first night we had 25 people. I was like, yeah, that's kind of cool, you know. Saw the picture on the screen. It was the first time we had projected. The next night we had 45 people. It's like, hey, you know, it's building. And Sunday night, the all-nighter, we had, I think, about 520 people. The bread and butter of our business is families, kids coming with their parents in their pajamas, hanging out at the playground, and you know, just all that kind of thing.
Our last all-nighter is usually Thanksgiving, but I think we're ending it a little early this year because it was too cold last year and no one came anyway.
The nature of the business now is that when you open a movie, the film company is looking for a longer commitment. So you're playing it for 3 weeks, and if you get a dog that comes in, it's nice to have a screen to move it back to.
My brothers work here in the summer as well, and my mom parks her trailer out back. She lives here with my grandma, so it's all family.
Last year we played Spider-Man for 5 weeks, and we could have played it for 9. It was still making money when we took it off, but people were heckling us on the answering machine, going, no! No more Spider-Man. So it's been terrific. I mean, people seem to really enjoy it. They move around a little. I guess officially that's wrong, but I don't care what they do once they're in here. It's kind of their business. I think part of the charm of the drive-in is there aren't a lot of rules. The kids were never really a problem, but they had to understand that they couldn't come here and party. And now, of course, we've been here 17 years, so now they're bringing their kids. You know, they've sort of graduated from their hardcore drinking days, got married, settled down. Kids are 5 and 6 years old, and now they come, and so that's really nice for me to see that transition, you know, and to see them. And they kind of smile. They have that little sort of embarrassed kind of chuckle. I remember the one kid he was so upset with us because we'd run out of gravy. And he had timed his buzz. This was his saying to us was, you can't be out of gravy. I timed my buzz to wait for the poutine until I had peaked. And so he was really quite mortified that we were out of gravy. So my wife had no choice but to make more gravy for him. My wife and I bought it 17 years ago. Our kids have always worked for us. We have an RV that we bought 2 years ago, so my wife stays here all the time. And her mother-in-law runs the ticket booth for us and does all the property maintenance and about 100 other things. And she lives in a trailer as well, so yeah, we're pretty much trailer trash. I think part of the charm of the drive-in is that it is in the heart of Prince Edward County, and we are a little hidden jewel. It's an island. You know, you get here either through there's a couple of nice little bridges you can come over, and the ferry, of course, is, for the tourists, still love the ferry ride. It's gotten old for me over the 17 years I've been taking it. But it's a remarkable area. 5,000 people live here. It's got amazing beaches, and it's right on Lake Ontario. Well, it's an island, so I guess that's enough about the water. If you haven't been to Sandbanks, you're really missing something. It's one of the more spectacular beaches in Canada, and I lived in Vancouver for 7 years. Wellington's a great little community. Bloomfield, nice little historic village, and they've really gone after that image. There's all sorts of quaint little shops and things like that. I don't know how many bed and breakfasts there are, but I think a gazillion was the last number, and they've doubled since then. And it's charming. It's old world. It's half an hour off the 401, and so it's not you just pop in, grab a coffee, and leave. This is really a destination spot. Tonight we're going to try to get 5 movies in per screen. I think we'll be able to pull that off. I wouldn't be surprised if we have to start parking them in the side fields, because I think we might fill it tonight. The weather's great. The movies are pretty good. So. And it'll just be pretty low-key. What'll happen tonight is we'll get going at 8 o'clock. I'll do an opening monologue, welcome people. I sort of try to get them into things by having them actually honk their horns, and it's sort of a dry run in case I screw something up. They have to honk, so people are kind of polite, so we prime the pump, as it were. We're going to set up our air castle so the kids can torque around in it, and parents love us because that just wipes them out. The kids are like gasping for oxygen. They come back to the car. They're really nice and subdued, so we'll do that. During the first intermission, we fire up a little white screen for the kids so they can do their shadow puppets, and that's other than charging money, which is my favorite thing. The shadow puppets are like my second favorite thing, because it's a blast, and the kids really like that. And a couple times I didn't do that, and I was severely reprimanded by the kids. So, and it should be a very low-key crowd. It should be lots of families, lots of kids in their pajamas, and I think it'll be a blast. It should be, and the movies are good.
We like coming to the drive-in because you get the privacy of your own vehicle. Nowadays you can still smoke out here. Where else can you go see 5 movies for $9? I've been coming here for years. This is the very first drive-in we brought her to. Cats and Dogs was playing. She looks just like the little beagle on Cats and Dogs.
Probably one of the favorite things of coming to the drive-in would be the fact that you have your own privacy. You can talk if you need to, or if it's quiet if you want it. You don't have to worry about interference from other people. The value of getting several movies at once. Just the whole atmosphere of being outside and still able to watch a movie at the same time.
Every Labor Day weekend, come to the all-nighter. I like the guy who owns it. I get along with him quite well.
And
The end of summer.
the end of summer.
They sound like they're from the 60s.
It's fun. Something different to do. Price. Definitely the price. Here, you get pay 18 for 4 or 5. 4 or 5 movies.
Yeah, it's good. It's fun.
We should have more stuff that's nostalgic like this. Warriors, can you come play?
Is it scary? Is it scarier? Is it scary?
Leave that movie in 3.
I'm gonna park so I can watch this screen. So,
Sneaking in is an age-old tradition at the drive-in, you know. For the most part, my attitude is if you don't treat me like I'm a jerk, then I won't treat you like one. You know, respect is given and taken. And so, yeah, I kind of have fun with it. We know when someone's sneaking in, the car's riding low to the ground, you know, and they immediately go to the back. So we'll have some fun. I'll go and stand and talk to the driver of the car for a little while, you know, make them stay in the trunk a little longer and things like that. And at some point I'll say, so, did you want to let them out, or what are you thinking?
Thank you very much.
I used to come here when I was just a wee lad playing on them swings up there. It's been the same way for years and years and years.
You gotta remember the movie.
Sandra was the idea of going to the drive-in.
It's spur of the moment. We were out all day today and we just decided to come. A lot nicer now that you have the radio station and you can close your windows and that.
It's very family oriented.
and it's very affordable for
Yeah,
us.
very, very affordable.
It's all the keys right there. Price.
It's comfortable, it's fun, it's,
and
yeah.
you get to sleep in the car.
We are the first ones here and pretty much the last ones to leave.
every long weekend. First time we came here was 3 years ago, and it was Labor Day, just like this. And he tried to get 6 movies in, and we were here right to the end. And if the sun was coming up, you couldn't see it, but you could hear it, and we were here listening to it.
He won't tell you that, but Paul is a very, very well-liked man.
Yep.
And
he's fair. He's a very
As he was saying earlier, this drive-in is Paul. Paul is the drive-in.
If everybody doesn't blow the horn loud enough, he won't start the movie.
Yeah.
I'm sure this one won't, will it?
Oh, I don't
This
think
one
it'll
won't
ever
disappear.
Not as long as he owns it.
No.
It won't.
Not as long as he has it.
Put them on the side of your window, and there you go. It crackled, and
He still has a couple.
Yeah, there's
going,
still some out there.
In
And they
case
still
somebody
work.
doesn't have a radio.
They still work. The first 2 rows, he has enough speakers to handle the first 2 rows.
Yeah.
And he said that he's going to keep those as nostalgia.
Yeah.
Right?
And in case somebody doesn't have a
Yeah.
radio working or.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. This little baby.
We love this drive-in. We come here every year on Labor Day for the all-nighter. I'm from Toronto. I come this far, and it rocks!
Well, I used to bring them in when they were kids, right? And we'd go for the all-night thing, and they thought it was great fun, and, well, they never grew up. And now they're bringing their friends, and there's about 10 more of them over there.
Panel back here that thinks you guys suck, but hey, we got to get going with the movie. Thanks for coming, folks. Have a great time and enjoy yourself. Here is. Could be wrong, but I think it's the wrong movie.
Pogos. Definitely pogos for the all-nighter crowd. Yeah, I think I saw someone eat over the course of a night at least 9 pogos one night.
Really? Cool.
My parents worked really hard to turn it into like a family place where the kids can just like run around and there's nothing to worry about. And that's really nice to see it. Like the playground is expanded and we've got the air castle this year, and it's just really nice to see that, like, and the families are so impressed when they come now, and like it took a long time, but it's well worth it. And it's nice to see all the kids running around, and instead of like the way it was before when we first got it. It was kind of a rough and tough place to be.
I was putting Tomb Raider together, and they come in on these conventional small reels. This is the industry standard. This size here doesn't matter. Cineplex, Rainbow, us, old school, independent, doesn't matter. The 35mm reels come on this, so I'm just splicing them together on our reels. We have the old, big reel film delivery system. That's it. Spliced together, zippity-doo-dah. Should take about 20 minutes if I do it right. Each movie has a head and a tail, a beginning and an end, and it's just a leader. And when you're putting it together, you cut one splice off, so you can make sure, so you know that you're doing it right, you're putting it together right. Whoever shipped this to us was sloppy. It might have been me. There aren't any projectionists anymore. There's no more licensing. Because a lot of the independents do their own, and because a lot of the high school kids are now running the equipment, they got rid of the certification process for projectionists. Which is too bad, because you could probably train a chimp to thread a projector up, but there is a fair bit of skill involved. It's really easy to ruin a film, and I'm seeing more and more of that. About 5-10 minutes later, I heard all the cars starting. I thought, that's strange. And I went, and the credits were on screen. And then when I looked, it's like, wow, there's an awful lot of credits there. It's like 20 minutes worth of credits, and I went, oh. And what had happened is they had mislabeled reel 4 and reel 5. So I put 5 first and then 4. So only one lady came up and complained and said, hey, that was weird. One minute they're in the middle of the desert and they're farting or something, and the next minute the girl's thanking them and the movie was over. I said, yeah, that's strange, eh? I don't know. It's a crappy movie anyway. It's not like you're gonna not be able to figure out how it ends, but that happens every once in a while. And we had a lot of families, you know. And I had played it first because it was the weakest film in the, and it's got some really strong sexual content, at least talking about it. So I couldn't take it anymore. Finally, I just came on the mic and I went, oh, what I did was I just shut it down and made it look like the film was breaking. I said, oh, sorry about that, folks. We're having some technical difficulties. I'm going to have to play the next movie, and we'll try and get it worked out. And then I came back and I said, okay, well, the technical difficulties are that movie really sucked, and I don't think anybody wanted to watch it. But I'll tell you what I'll do. If even one person comes up to me and says, I'd really like to see that rest of that movie, I'll play it. No one did.
Sort of where I grew up, I guess. It's very, I don't know, significant part of my childhood. There's enough people in the community who love this place that, I don't know, hopefully we'll keep going for a long time.
They usually have good movies, you know? And I like the puppet shows.
Yeah, that sort of thing. I'm a big Freddy fan from way back there.
It was pretty cool.
It's not just coming to the drive-in and watching a movie like in a theater. I mean, it's the entire experience, right? You can talk to the people in the car, you can talk to the people next to your car.
You can talk to the lady who sells you the tickets.
Yeah.
We're regulars. I mean, they're real people. That's what's good about a service. It's not like going to McDonald's and getting a free smile. You get a real smile. It's a good time.
The whole drive-in's a really family-oriented place because it's just neat stories. Like we once had a woman come here right after she delivered her baby. I think it was something like 5 or 6 hours after that night. She was here at the drive-in with the baby. We've also had a wedding here. And yeah, I guess Bob, who got married, had worked here for about, I don't know, forever as a projectionist. So when he finally decided that he wanted to propose, they decided to have it here, and it was really nice. There was a big barbecue, and everyone watched a movie, and really laid back. And that's kind of the way the whole place feels. You know, it's just a bunch of people hanging out and slinging food and movies.
But it's a 3,000 watt bulb. It's a gas-fired xenon bulb that's in there, and you ignite it where there's a spark gap. 50,000 watts lights the bulb, and then it stays on. And as you've seen, it's a pretty good picture on the screen there. This is the original projector from this drive-in. 1956 it was installed. Of course, the soundtrack it's an optical read, which is much more environmentally friendly. Eventually, they're going to replace the conventional soundtrack because of the dye it uses is really bad for the environment. So we're ready when we make that jump. And it's an incredibly reliable system. There is infrared read and there's really nothing to go wrong. So unlike the old bulbs, I'm just going to go turn that movie's done rewinding off.
Mustang Drive-In.